Hello, my name is Andy, and I'm a minister for Trinity of Christ Ministries. And today we're going to do a Bible study on Genesis 46. We welcome you to join us, and we'll study it together. So let me put it up on the screen so that you can see what I'm talking about. Before we go into this study, I have to give you a preview of the last 6 chapters that we've read. It has all been about Jacob and his journey to Egypt. Now, Jacob was sold as a slave into Egypt by his brothers, and they thought they were done with him. And Jacob thrived wherever he went. You know, he was a slave for a time, and he was a great slave, so they gave him position in a higher position as a slave, and then an evil woman tried to lie and say that he desired her when he didn't, and so he was thrown into prison, and he rose up in the prison from a humble standing to being very active and involved in the prison. And he met some men there who, when the Pharaoh of Egypt had a dream, they told him that he knew how to interpret dreams. And so he interpreted the dreams of Pharaoh, and Pharaoh, in his joy and in his recognizing the truth, made Joseph his second main man in Egypt, just under him in power. And so Joseph, in predicting that there was going to be 7 years of good produce and then 7 years of famine, prepared Egypt by saving the extra in the prior years, so that when the famine hit, nobody but Pharaoh had any food. And so this caused his brothers, who were living in the famine, to come to Egypt for help to buy food. And little do they know that it's their brother who they sold into slavery, who they're talking with. And they don't recognize him. And so he does all sorts of stuff to them, you know, always with good in mind. You know, he sent them back with food to the father, who was still living in Canaan, and he sent them with the money that they came to purchase food with. So they didn't know what to think of that. And so when they returned to buy more food, they brought twice the money. Hold on a second. And so, in last chapter, he finally revealed to his brothers who he was. And he asks for his father to come to Egypt too. And that's where we're beginning from. Jacob goes to Egypt. So Israel set out with all that was his, and when he reached Beersheba, he offered sacrifices to the God of his father Isaac. And God spoke to Israel in a vision that night, and said, "Jacob, Jacob." "Here I am," he replied. "I am the God of your fathers," he said. "Do not be afraid to go down to Egypt, for I will make you into a great nation there. I will go down to Egypt with you, and I will surely bring you back again. And Joseph's own hand will close your eyes." When Jacob left Beersheba, and Israel's sons took their father Jacob and their children and their wives in the carts that Pharaoh had sent to transport him. So Jacob and all his offspring went to Egypt, taking with them their livestock and their possessions that they had acquired in Canaan. Jacob brought with him to Egypt his sons and grandsons and his daughters and granddaughters, all his offspring. These are the names of the sons of Israel, Jacob and his descendants, who went to Egypt. Reuben, the firstborn of Jacob. The sons of Reuben: Hanok, Palu, Hezron, Carmi. The sons of Simeon: Jemuel, Jamin, Ohad, Jachin, Zor, and Shaul, of the son of a Canaanite woman. The sons of Levi: Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. The sons of Judah: Onan, Shelah, Perez, and Zerah. But and Onan had died in the land of Canaan. The sons of Perez: Hezron and Hamul. The sons of Ishkar: Pula, Jashub, and Shimron. I just love the names. The sons of Zebulun: Sered, Elon, and Jahiel. These were the sons of Leah born to Jacob in Padan Aram, besides his daughter Dinah. These sons and daughters of his were 33 in all. The sons of Gad: Zephron, Haggai, Shunai, Esbon, Eri, Arodi, and Areli. The sons of Asher: Imnah, Ishvi, and Barai. Their sister Sarah, and sons of Barai: Herba and Melchiel. These were the children born of Jacob by Zilpah, whom Laban had given to his daughter Leah. 16 in all. The sons of Jacob's wife Rachel: Joseph and Benjamin. In Egypt, Manasseh and Ephraim were born to Joseph of Aseneth, daughter of Potipherah, priest of On. The sons of Benjamin: Bela, Becher, Ashbel, Gerah, Neiman, Ehi, Rosh, Huppim, and Ard. These are the sons of Rachel who were born of Jacob, 14 in all. The son of Dan: Hushim. The sons of Naphtali: Jahaziel, Guni, Jezer, and Shillem. These were the sons born of Jacob by Bilhah, whom Laban had given to his daughter Rachel, 7 in all. All those who went to Egypt with Jacob, those who were his direct descendants, not counting his sons' wives, numbered 66 persons. With the 2 sons who had been born to Joseph in Egypt, the members of Jacob's family, which went to Egypt, were 70 in all. Now Jacob sent Judah ahead of him to Joseph to get directions to Goshen, And when they arrived in the region of Goshen, Joseph had his chariot made ready and went to Goshen to meet his father Israel. As soon as Joseph appeared before him, he threw his arms around his father and wept for a long time. Israel said to Joseph, "Now I am ready to die, since I have seen for myself that you are still alive." Then Joseph said to his brothers and to his father's household, "I will go up and speak to Pharaoh, and will say to him, My brothers and my father's household, whom were living in the land of Canaan, have come to me. The men are shepherds, and they tend livestock, and they have brought along their flocks and herds, and everything they own. And when Pharaoh calls you in and asks, 'What is your occupation?' you should answer, 'Your servants have tended livestock from our boyhood on, just as our fathers did.' Then you will be allowed to settle in the region of Goshen. For all shepherds are detestable to Egyptians." That's interesting. I did not know that all shepherds were detestable to the Egyptians. I'm sure they probably had considered that to be slave work. Not so much different than today, where you have the different classes of people who work expensive and high-paying jobs, and people who have to dig ditches, So, thus, I think, ends the story of Jacob. I haven't looked ahead. But I will. I never look ahead, but this time I think I will. Well, there's still a little bit more in Genesis 47. So we will continue the story of Jacob in chapter 47. Now, I have been told that the story of Jacob is a Christ story. That you can see mirrors of Christ in the walk that Joseph makes. He becomes almost a sacrificial lamb when he is thrown into the well, not understood by his own brothers, and then sold into slavery into Egypt. But no matter what evil people did to him, he always seemed to rise to the top. He became the chief slave in the household of his slave owner. He became in charge of the prison that he was in as a prisoner. He helped Pharaoh, and he rose to the occasion and became the second-hand man to the Pharaoh of Egypt. I can't help but think that it's his attitude, his way of belief in God, that made him rise up, despite the evil that goes on around him. And so, instead of holding the grudge against his brothers for casting him into slavery, he helps them. He shows mercy. And instead of getting even with them, he loves them. And there's a little bit of a story about God in that. We all deserve our punishment, for we all do wrong. Yet God can't wait to forgive us, to welcome us into his arms. We spend so much time running away from God. Imagine what we could be if we ran to Him. I'm going to end with that thought, and I hope that you enjoyed the reading. I hate reading all the names, and I'm no good at reading the names, so don't don't be offended if I didn't get the names right. I try my best, but yeah, I don't have the right tongue, I guess, for some of the names. But that's not what's important. What's important is the message, and that is a message of hope. God bless, and take care of yourselves. And I hope that you'll have a good week.
He who hears my word and believes the Father who sent me has eternal life. Life eternal. I believe your word, Lord. Walking in the light, no fear of death.